like it so much. It's not even real news.
Damn it, Josephine, I already done told you it's a combination of relevant news and topics of the day in a package that I find entertaining and palatable to assimilate. At reasonable price, and it helps me unwind.
So this is you relaxed, huh?
Well, I was until you got on my back, Josephine. Now, if you shut that ever-expanding cosmos of a hole you call a mouth, I could get back to it.
No, it's fake news.
Nope. Fake news is every time you tell folks you got a f***ing thyroid problem. Now, I know you're only trying to make me mad, Josephine. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work!
I've, throughout my life, been exclusively attracted.
Fake news.
Nope.
I don't know that you can find a strong woman.
No, it's fake.
Damn it, Josephine! Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta push me? You know it sets me off. Does this make you feel good about yourself? Does it make you feel good about yourself to push my buttons?
Relax, I was just joking.
I see it exclusive. I don't know how you can be a
I already done told you, Josephine, it's not funny.
I realize
These guys are legit.
All right.
you also think of them as weak and wimpy because
You want to go to the Golden Corral?
I wouldn't go to Golden Corral if you were the last woman on earth and my life depended on it.
brothers.
Not after that last time you went, you're looking at have a f***ing wanted poster of you up on their wall.
Join Mug Club today for $89 annually or try it mugless for $9 a month. You can sign up at louderwithcredit.com/Mug Club for the entire catalog, including Nick DiPaolo, Brian Callen, the Hodge Twins, Mr. Guns and Gear, and of course, Alex Jones, along with 100% more of this show. Something's off.
Oh, yeah?
In my drink. Did someone sabotage it? Because that's the theme of today. Bring up the rundown. Are we dealing with sabotage in the United States with the events that unfolded yesterday with the pro-Hamas, I don't know what you call them, protesters, professional pricks? Spoiler alert, yes. It just comes down to whether it is, in fact, foreign-influenced sabotage. And we'll provide all the references. The President Trump trial has started yesterday. We'll be talking about that. And most importantly, we actually have George the Greek on the ground in Nashville right now. The judge is going to be deciding if that manifesto, the Nashville Manifesto, will be released to the public. Still no word on the investigation or lawsuit coming here to our undercover unit. I'd be willing to bet.
I don't think they're doing it.
I'd be willing to bet that it got lost in the shuffle. So, my question, I guess, to you before anything else, what do you expect the outcome to be with the hush money trial with Donald Trump? And I guess, hey, you can predict. Do you think that the judge is going to release the manifesto? If you see this at some point today while you're watching on YouTube, head on over to Rumble, because I don't know why you're watching on YouTube anyway. It's a live show, weekdays, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're broadcasting every day. You just may not see us here. Captain Morgan is not. He'll be back tomorrow, by the way, so you can congratulate him. But right now, you thank this man for his service.
Nope.
He is going to be at the Improv in Addison, Texas tonight. Tonight's sit.
Yes.
JFirestein.com. How are you, Josh?
I'm good. I'm milking this chair.
Yes.
Gerald's back tomorrow. I'm heating it up for him.
Well, there's no use crying over
When he
milk.
comes back, can we keep Gerald C also?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's in his...
I've grown accustomed to the face.
He actually requested it in his rider, and we did not grant it.
Oh, wow. You're finally doing that for him.
Well, we did it for you.
Well, thank you.
You could just tell him that it's more pleasant.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I mean,
You,
know,
sir, are an idiot.
Hey. Sometimes...
He's still here.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like he's still with us.
I feel gay already.
Captain Morgan in your heart all week long, but you don't have to. Why would you? And in third chair, we actually have two people. Well, third and fourth chair.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch him live on Rumble daily, 5:30 Eastern. You know him as the Quartering. We know him as Jeremy the Quartering. Jeremy, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing well.
You're back by popular demand from yesterday.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I just saw a bunch of new people following me on Rumble, so thank you for the shout out.
Very nice. None of them from Brazil, mind you.
Well, true.
And right next to you, because you've never done this before, and you hear this, you know who it is.
There it is.
I am from his balls. This is
Goodness.
Pops Crowder. Am I not? You want to fact check that?
I don't
I have the admonishment ready for you.
No.
I'm not from there, but I've been there a time or two.
No, that's right.
I've vacationed there.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Exactly.
You know, Gerald C. looks a lot like the jihadis in Cultural Appropriation Month.
He looks
Costume?
eerily similar, but it's not quite the same. Speaking of
Maybe someone
jihadis,
can pull that up. That was one of the best costumes ever.
speaking of jihadis, oh no, they're just showing Sonia Sotomayor on CNN. I was implying she's a terrorist. Okay.
Sotomayor, what?
Hey.
What?
All right, I'll allow
Bad pun.
it. So, George the Greek, just to let you know, he is going to be outside the courtroom where the release of the Nashville Manifesto will be decided. We tuned in with him a little bit earlier today just to make sure that he had things set up correctly. It seems like he did this time.
It's trial day here in Nashville. Just after the one-year anniversary of the tragic events at the Covenant School, parties will gather here to determine the fate of the Nashville Manifesto. In a few short hours, the trial will begin in front of Judge Miles' courtroom to decide whether or not the public will finally get to see the manifesto in its entirety or whether it will remain outside of public view. I will be inside the courtroom taking notes, reading the witnesses, reading the judge, and reporting back what I find so that we can finally see what will happen with this manifesto. Stay tuned.
Is it weird that every time I see a lower third, I'm expecting something silly in a parody now?
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
It looks funny to me for some reason.
You're like, wait, this is actually what it is?
Some weird, I don't know, I guess Pavlovian.
We did a real news stand-up.
Whoa.
Wow.
And his gray white hair blends in with the background of the taupe buildings.
Yes.
He one-taked that too.
He did. He did. I think I'm paying him just enough, but I should pay him more so he can put a dimple in his tie, George.
I hope he's listening.
Yes.
We should
Take
check
notes.
to see if he's actually taking notes in the courtroom. Show us your notes, or this trip isn't a write-off.
He's drawing a wiener. All right.
He's got time for more than one.
He's a sketch artist.
Have you seen my wiener?
Hey, all right.
Billy's coming to play.
Billy came to play.
Working that
Okay,
out.
so look, people will often try and tell you that you are being conspiratorial. Okay, so you've seen a lot of this sort of, I guess, puttering around Twitter yesterday on social media. It's hard to sift through what is true and what is not. I will tell you this. This is my opinion. Sabotage or a coordinated effort, let me establish it this way. A coordinated effort to destroy American institutions is happening. Okay? There is no doubt about that right now. We've covered it many times. Now we're at this point where we see what had happened yesterday with the pro-Hamas, and we'll show you some clips in major cities. The question is whether there's foreign influence, foreign interference here, foreign money coming into the United States to disrupt and basically, I guess I should say, infiltrate our institutions, rebuild them in a new image of a leftist utopia. I would argue yes. Comment below if you think that is what is happening right now. We're going to look at a pattern of events and try and break down each one. But first, you probably have noticed, if you've trusted your lying eyes and ears, for the last year and a half, chaos has been certainly unfolding here in America. Train derailments, bridges collapsing. Well, here's a montage as a refresher. And that one's silent, but it's still scary.
It's even scarier in silence. Oh, jeez. Yikes.
The two buildings here on fire are made of metal.
26 barges broke loose on the Ohio River,
That's funny.
prompting two
That's a weird
bridge
ad.
closures in Pittsburgh. Officials say 23 of the barges were loaded with dry goods like coal.
The derailment occurred after an eastbound train collided with a train that was stopped on the same tracks. A westbound train then striking the cars that had spilled over onto its tracks.
It really is odd how they feel accomplished in like basic descriptions.
Yeah.
This building on fire has metal. This train on fire had coal.
Whoa. Now I know.
That changes everything.
The train was derailed from what it usually runs on or operates, known as tracks. Back to you, Bob.
I can see Colton Wade right now yelling at Josephine. Hear that, Josephine?
He was on tracks.
That queen of the roads ain't doing a good job up there.
So that has happened. That's been going on for a year and a half. But yesterday there were some very specific new civil disruptions that you probably noticed. Let's go to California first. Rough day for California. The pro-Palestine protesters, they shut down that this Golden Gate Bridge, which sometimes has grates. It is. There's a grate on the bridge. I wasn't wrong.
It's a great bridge.
I was wrong. It was shut down completely. Roll clip.
Hey, cops just standing there, huh?
They're on break.
I was confused. See, I thought that our tax dollars went to the police to enforce the law.
No.
I thought that was part of our unwritten, or actually written agreement with the police. Did I miss something?
I think so.
Okay.
I think you missed something there.
That's me, Mr. Traditional. Also, by the way, I-880 was shut down, the freeway to Oakland. So that happened.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes. Luckily, authorities have a plan for the next protest in the Bay Area. Let's see something my tax dollars can get behind.
Yes, well, they haven't got it yet.
Right.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. That was a simulation. AI is getting good. Now,
using Palestinian workers, so it takes a little while.
Yeah. Yesterday, same day, Chicago, pro-Palestine protesters shut down the roads there, leading to the airport.
Everyone has to walk to the airport. What are they doing?
Yeah.
Really making a statement with that cross track.
She's from Skokie.
You tell me if this is immature, childish, probably. Wouldn't it just be great to see the most jacked, shredded Jew you can imagine beat the hell out of them?
Yes,
Goldberg.
Bear Jew.
Yeah, Goldberg. Just show up and just Goldberg spear.
Chopper him.
All right, little buddy.
Oh, I thought you meant the goalie Goldberg, the one that did meth.
Yes.
That would also be a good substitute.
Send them both in.
Yeah, Goldberg and the Goldbergs.
Yes.
We'll get Brian Callen also.
Send them all in. Jeff Garland. So I know you're saying, well, I don't know, coordinated effort, 1, 2. Okay, let's go to New York. Protesters stopped the traffic there, going to the Brooklyn Bridge. They took over basically lower Manhattan.
It's not the right place to walk on that bridge.
No, it's generally frowned upon.
You are supporting a fucking terrorist organization.
Yeah, we gotta burn a flag.
They also burn the rest of their outfit.
We should be so lucky. Tank top
gross.
doesn't match the
I don't want to
shorts.
see the rest of that.
I do appreciate that the man's or woman's Z's tank top resembles an ace bandage.
Yeah, because they just had. Never mind. I'm not going to get
It's
it.
a compression.
Yeah, it's taping down them titties. Well, a woman does.
That's my favorite kind of woman when the titties are taped down.
Taped down.
Taped down titties, I call them.
It's like Chinese foot.
DDT.
It's like Chinese foot binding. There's no reason that I should be attracted to it, but I find myself.
Oh.
So,
Somebody hit the gong.
Coincidence. I'm not. I apologize for nothing. That's 3. All right, maybe. Let's go to Philly, where they also blocked traffic.
Philadelphia police handcuffed and removed people from the intersection of Market Street and Schuylkill Avenue. These protesters were taking part in a demonstration showing solidarity with Palestine.
Okay. So
why doesn't this ever happen during a PTA meeting?
Right. I know.
At least they got arrested there.
Yeah. Well, in Florida, they don't play with that at all. So just those 4 states, just those 4 states, more than 150 arrests. All references are available at lidawithcrowder.com. If this seems somewhat reminiscent of Black Lives Matter, what was going on the Summer of Love, of course, it's not nearly that big, not $2+ billion in damages and thousands of officer casualties. But this doesn't just happen by chance. This isn't an accident at this point. Here's actually Elizabeth Warren, a surrogate, I should say. And I guess this lady's name is Calla Walsh. She, Kaya? No, it's spelled with 2 L's. I don't think that's correct, but it could be. I don't care. So she wrote, today is the highest level of coordinated direct action we've seen since October 7th. Weapons companies, highways, ports, and airports shut down around the world. Why is April 15th so effective? The call to action was a reorientation from symbolic protest to material economic blockade. So let me just break this down for you really quickly. She said the quiet part out loud because she's stupid. I don't say that because she's a woman or she has a vagina. I say it because she's stupid. So when she says April 15th is so effective, what is she saying? She's saying April 15th was so effective in harming you and inconveniencing you, the taxpayer, my people, the professional protesters, they were so effective in shutting down your roads, in ensuring that you don't get to go to work. By the way, it just happens to coincide with the tax day where if you transferred via Venmo to your friend $300, the IRS will be up your ass with a sigmoidoscope. No, these are my people. These people are so effective against you. April 15th, they see it as a success. Hey, you're a working American in Philadelphia, New York, around San Francisco, if they still exist there. You find that effective? This is why it's not about race. It's not about class as far as wealth. It's about them versus you. It is about the elites. It's about people who are wielding unelected power. And I'm not saying that none of these people have been elected, though many haven't, the Faucis of the world, people who sit on commissions. What I'm saying is they are now expanding beyond their authority. You think that people who you vote for have the authority to encourage people who have not been elected to block your roads? To potentially set fires in a public space? Keep in mind, at the same time, you have people, whether it's James O'Keefe or yours truly, who are being potentially sued by the government or raided by the FBI for footage that was recorded legally in a single-party consent state. These people can completely disregard the law. We already saw what happened. We saw what happened with Black Lives Matter. You saw what happened yesterday, and they say that's effective. Remember, Kamala Harris, they're not going to stop, nor should they stop. I don't know. I would say, I don't want to speak on behalf of everybody, but for most Americans, stop. So is it sabotage or not? I guess we'll kind of toss this to the room. The California protests, you know what? Okay, California, Chicago, New York, Philly, they're all sabotage, all coordinated.
Definitely Beastie Boys style.
Yeah. What do you think? You think it happened by accident there, Pops Crowder? No?
Did you just bust out a Kamala Harris impression?
And
I think you did.
Yeah, you're going to regret. You're going to regret drawing attention to it because now I can't stop.
It's a plaintiff wail.
Nor should I stop.
With a Barack Obama bounce.
Little bit.
Yeah.
I got that clip if you want to run it.
And I bang mayors. What? Which clip?
Just to get it.
This one.
Not my sex tape.
Everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not. And we should not.
There you go. They want to create criminals out of law-abiding citizens, and they want to turn actual criminals into a new voting base. There's your America. To top it off, let's go to former Vice President Biden's hometown and home to Amy's Diner.
Nice.
Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Nice reference.
A munitions factory.
It wasn't retro back then.
No, it wasn't.
The actual 50s diner.
Have you guys seen that munitions factory caught on fire? And here's the thing. This actually matters quite a bit. The factory focuses on like 155 millimeter artillery shells. And the stockpile that we have here in the States is dangerously low as it is after, of course, I should say, we've sent hundreds of thousands to Ukraine and I believe Israel. We're also going to need a ton of those if something goes down with Taiwan at this point. So this just happened to catch on fire. General Dynamics did, however, say that the fire was small. It was not a concern. I don't know. To me, it has a whiff of the pipes bursting in Georgia.
Well, it was like when all those chicken farms conveniently were burning down repeatedly in a weird coincidence that kept happening.
Yeah. Smelled fantastic, though.
Yeah, delicious.
So we did some research here to see how often this happens. From 2017 to 2023, the fires that we were able to find, and you can let us know if we're missing some in munitions plants. There was one in Missouri, there was one in South Dakota, Louisiana, Virginia. So they're not all that common.
Explosives factory?
But it's usually a Chinese fireworks factory.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen one.
If I were a news anchor, I'd say, the munitions factory lit ablaze, where they house munitions. Sandra?
I feel educated. If you could do the whole show like that, actually, I feel like we'd all be better for it.
I could try to do it, Mr. Firestein, but I would find that I hate my life.
Back to you.
Back to you, quartering. So we give this Scranton fire, to be clear, you comment below. I'm going to say sabotage. Can't prove it. I just think it's more fun that way.
It's even better that it's in Joe Biden's hometown. Feels more sabotagey.
Right.
Or maybe he just left the stove on.
I don't even know what it is. Yes, exactly.
You smell that?
He went back to Scranton for the first time in 2 decades to leave a stove on.
Back at Scranton. I left the stove on.
Yeah.
Not a joke.
Shit.
Not a joke.
You smell that? Am I having a stroke? Oh, it's just smoke. That's no joke, folks.
Anyone else taste pennies?
So let me give you some evidence, though, here as to why this might be sabotage. All right. We do know that there are allied groups who hate the United States, and they're active in organizing, helping to spread dissent here in the United States. So let me give you an example. The People's Forum. Okay? This is an organization. It's tied to the Chinese Communist Party. They organize pro-Palestine events in America. They received $3 million in funding from the United Community Fund, which is a CCP propaganda operation. Let me give you another stat. Under former Vice President Biden, 357 foreign nationals on the terror watch list have been apprehended. There's about 11 under Trump. So the context there matters. Just yesterday, the FBI opened a new investigation into that Baltimore bridge collapsing. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on there. But as far as the funding, this was happening. Remember with the Tea Party, Pops Crowder? What would happen is, and this is, in case you guys don't, this was in 2008, 2009, when they were protesting Barack Obama and the major stimulus bill at that point. You would see someone with a Nazi flag, right? Or you would see someone with a KKK symbol. And invariably, every single time, it turned out that it was an antagonist who was a plant there. Remember that?
Right.
And then at that moment in time, you had Nancy Pelosi saying, the Tea Party, an AstroTurf movement, what they do is they accuse you of doing exactly what it is that they are doing. There were no damages from Tea Parties.
No, they left places better than they found them.
Yep. Unlike, we had Tea Party, then afterwards we had the Occupy Wall Street movement. Right. Which was, hey, they could have found some common ground together if, you didn't have one where it was mothers and fathers who were protesting in public places with a schedule, cleaning it up afterwards with pokey sticks, in comparison to people shitting on cop cars. It's a little bit of a divide that's tough to bridge.
Well, different folks, different strokes.
But they both claim that they were, well, we're back to Biden. They both claim that they're protesting big government, big bank bailouts. Everyone on the right has protested those. There should be common ground there. Unfortunately, the Tea Party happened. They said AstroTurf, and you would have people going. Remember with Andrew Breitbart, Representative? Was it Clyburn? Who else was it? There were a couple of people. I remember Clyburn saying they shouted the N-word at me.
That's right.
Walking up the Capitol steps.
$100,000 to anybody that could put audio or video to it.
Right, and there was video and audio proof of the walk. This is pre, AI. This is pre 360-degree cameras, by the way, from every single angle, and no one said the N-word. Remember he said he was spit on? It was some guy yelling at him, like, you're a traitor to your country. There's some spittle. And he was like, and the media covered it. These Tea Party activists spit on black representative and shout the N-word. Disgusting. They accuse you of doing exactly what it is that they are doing. $3 million in funding from a communist Chinese party tied organization. Crimes committed in major cities across the country. Fires lit. We've already had $2 billion in damages. They want you to, at some point, protect what is yours so they can accuse you of being an extremist. That's where I think this is headed. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I should also mention, just to end this on a positive note, Florida, on the other hand, doesn't play that.
Didn't last for too long. Police were out in protest here and eventually physically picked people up and moved them, even arresting a few like Valentina Jadu.
Zip ties.
Oh, yeah, está bueno, move.
I hope they beat him up too.
Yes. Each zip tie is like a kiss from an angel.
It's interesting if you follow these groups, it's basically the same people too, who conveniently, they were at Occupy. I think some people were talking about it last night, and even people within Occupy knew them as travelers. Like they were people that happened to be in Turkey and happened to be here and there, and then they were doing BLM. And then it's the same group of people that are conveniently always at these events. And to assume that's not coordinated, I mean,
I think it's
more than a coincidence. These people are losers.
Right.
They don't have no friends. This is they needed a friend group. It's like when you go to an open mic in a small town, you're like, wow, why do these people do? Oh, they don't have friends. Why do you do comp? You're the worst person around. Oh, you needed somebody to be around, like forced to be around you.
Yeah.
Because you don't have friends or a job. These people are losers.
Right. But he tells you his arms are tired.
Yeah. Right. He just flew in.
They're usually upper middle class white liberal kids too from the suburbs.
Yeah. No
wonder why nobody likes them.
Yeah. They don't have any skin in the game. Hey, here's the thing too. If you're talking about whatever the protest is, if you're talking, for example, about the wrongs of systemic racism in the United States, the wrongs of slavery past, more slaves right now on earth than ever in recorded history. over 40 million, more on Earth right now than ever in recorded history. You could do something about that. Or you can tie yourself to the Golden Gate Bridge and light your panties on fire. The choice is yours as to which is more effective. We here at Loud Earth Crider have our own way of dealing with in-office protesters.
Wait, where do you think you're going?
I got a bathroom. I gotta go.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You didn't attend my pronoun seminar. The seminars are very important. Maybe you'll learn next time to come to mandatory HR meetings. I mean,
Hey,
if
guys.
we ignore these things. Wait, what are you guys doing? What? Oh my gosh! Whoa! You can't do this.
You made it to that bathroom, Josh.
Yeah, I made it in. I made it in. I got my business taken care of.
You
dude.
do. You
Yeah.
do. But you get what's yours.
Yeah.
You can't get Hava Nagila out of your dome.
Hava
It's an
Nagila,
earworm now.
Hava Nagila, get out of my way.
Yep. Oh. You know what I have stuck in my head?
What's that?
Take a guess.
Margarita.
What?
What?
The margarita phrase.
You mean Deaf to America?
It's in Steven's head on repeat.
Mar, whatever. I don't remember the second half. That's how much I love my country. Saved by the Bell theme.
Oh,
it's been in my head because
we're writing a
coming
thing.
up, and I was sitting there, and but it's a blend of the lyrics that we did in the
You
original.
added some curse words I didn't add in there, but I like it better.
It's true. It's fine. It's fine.
First celebrity crush, by the way, Leah Remini for me on that show.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Leon
yeah.
Carosi's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
I would have thought Mario Lopez for you. But
He's too pretty.
I was more of a. Never mind.
AC Slater sat with the chair on back. He sat on the chair backwards, which is how you know he was the cool kid.
Yeah.
Did he flip it around?
Yeah, he flipped it around and he would sit there, all 135 pounds of him.
By the way, speaking of Screech, I was thinking of Screech, the porn star.
Oh, what do you have for us, Josh Building?
We have a tweet from John Fetterman talking about protesters. I think you like it.
Oh yeah, well he's been banging on all cylinders recently. I mean, not the stroke, not physically, but I mean,
yeah, he's getting it. Yeah,
figuratively.
The smoke is gone. Yeah.
It's almost like it cleared the cobwebs.
Did he start the fire in Scranton? I don't know.
He's a guy who actually went into a mental institution and came out less liberal.
Think about that. He probably went in and realized that everyone insane around him was liberal. And he was like, oh,
They
man.
had some crazy ideas. And he's like, actually, AOC said the same thing to me last week.
All right, what do we? Let's see the tweet from Fetterman. He says, I don't know who needs to hear this, but blocking a bridge or berating folks in Starbucks isn't righteous. It just makes you an asshole. He said, demand Hamas to send every hostage back home and surrender. You know what? That is one thing that is lost in this shuffle. Do you know? And comment below. Did you know that Hamas still has hostages, right? That they're not giving up?
Yeah, they said that there was one point where they couldn't reestablish negotiations because they didn't have enough hostages.
Right.
I was like, what do you mean? Just you need some more hostages before you can negotiate to release them?
They're like, well,
just release them.
We lost them. Oh, well, now we have to kill all of you.
Remember those videos where they're like, look how happy the hostages are being released by Hamas.
Yeah.
You think those other people are the other 400 or whatever are still?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They also gave them drugs.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, I love drugs.
Well, you know what? It covers a litany of errors if you just get the right drugs. Drugs are bad, kids. You shouldn't be watching if you're a child under 13.
They are. Booked my flight.
Yep. Drugs are bad, but smoking makes you look pretty cool.
13 is the bar for the show. My goodness.
Time to remind you, by the way, any purchase at crowdershop.com, you'll be entered to win a custom plate carrier from Armored Republic. So it ends, I believe, this week. It ends. So crowdershop.com. Everything that we're wearing here. Well, not everything we're wearing. I'm the only one wearing a merch shirt. I missed Jared.
I have a hat. I have a hat too.
Well, you're wearing it backwards like AC Slater. I mean, you look really cool.
I wanted to look like Grego.
So we have George the Greek coming up, this Nashville Manifesto. It's going to be released by the judge. But everyone is talking about this, of course, today. It's funny how yesterday, did you notice CNN spent more time on the Trump trial than Iran?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We went from Saturday, I believe it was Saturday night, or maybe it was Sunday. I'm trying to remember when it first happened. World War III, everything is over, to CNN acts like it doesn't even exist. Mm-hmm. It's just about the Trump trial.
That was Saturday news, so
yeah, that's right.
It's buried by now.
World War III. I don't know.
A storm of missiles has left Iran. Speaking of storm, Stormy Daniels, the whore.
Right. Yes.
World War III, part of the media dump on a Friday.
This is when people think of the golden age of it's never existed. If it's World War III, Germany. Well, this weekend, Hitler, our great Mein Führer, marched on Poland. But what's going on with Charlize Theron? Who are you wearing? Just move on to something that doesn't matter what's... Okay, so Donald Trump, here's where we are. He's the first president to stand for, to be put through a criminal trial in history in the United States. This is a witch hunt designed to try and tilt the election. The good news is it doesn't seem like that's going to work. The people involved, the tools that are being used, let me break this down for you because it's hard, right? This was a trial that kind of went on. Now we're back into this. Wait, is it Stormy Daniels? What does this have to do with Cohen? Let me give you the what, the who, and the why. Let's break this down because it's happening in New York. It's time for an Empire State of Crime.
New York, concrete shit, whole street crime tornado. No one will protect you. Now you're in New York.
Before I move on, here's the connection that took. I just heard that and it made me think of Alicia Keys. She did proactive commercials, which is fine. You can do that nowadays.
Sure.
But you know who else did proactive commercials? Was back when he was Puff Daddy.
Oh.
P. Diddy did proactive commercials, which I just...
P. Diddy didn't do them, Puff Daddy did.
Puff Daddy did them. I just feel like you can't be involved in gangster rap and do commercials for Astringent.
What's Astringent? It's an acne cream, right?
Yeah. And he was sitting there. He tried to make it cool. He's like, proactive. Your boy Diddy told you what's up. Sorry, Puff Daddy. Your boy Puffy told you what's up. I was like, I don't really know if that's what's up, though.
I mean...
It's like Caitlyn Jenner wasn't really on a Wheaties box.
Right.
Yeah, it should have been. Healing, maybe a mini Wheats box.
You know that's right.
Hey,
healing pimples is cool, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. You want to... he should have called himself Puss Daddy. Totally missed out on that.
Just people, you know what? People are just... The rappers who died are just fortunate to have not had to pimp themselves out. You know, you have Tupac doing proactive commercials. I ain't see no changes. Wait, I see a blackhead faces.
Puss Daddy goes, hey, I'm Puss Daddy. Like, you're Puss Daddy? He's like, no, it's Puss Daddy. I'm Puss Daddy. Like, nah, I don't think I think you're Puss. And then, now we're like, oh, he was Puss Daddy.
Yeah, exactly. Doing proactive. I love it when you come up and pop them. Throw your hands in the air.
I don't want to have a pimple no more. I don't want to be a player no more.
I don't want no pus. Pus as it grows, don't get no pus on me. That's not even hip hop. Now we're just going to
R&B.
I guess. The point is, I don't know the rules of being a sellout. It used to be like when you were a kid, right? You'd be like, hey, whatever it was. Blink-182, Green Day, they became sellouts. Like, well, you're doing proactive commercials.
Green Day. I just saw there. I'm a big Padres fan on the broadcast. They're like, come see Green Day at Petco Park. I'm like, oh, yeah, the anti-capitalist Green Day playing a baseball stadium. Fucking cool, dude.
$280
Don't want to be an American capitalist.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly. All right. It's wrong to hate, but I hate them. Now, yesterday, to go back to the topic, first day of President Trump's hush money case in Manhattan.
It is a historic day for former President Trump as jury selection is underway in his criminal trial in his hush money case. Yeah. Prosecutors put Trump at the center of an alleged scheme to bury damaging stories of an affair before the 2016 election. He has pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records. And that image you're seeing there, that was video of the former president walking through that there in the courtroom, walking to the courtroom in downtown Manhattan.
Well, I'm more concerned in that video of the man who looks like Franklin the Turtle in the last scene of Philadelphia.
The cop.
Poor guy.
This poor guy, he's just doing his job.
He's catching strays. He's just doing his job.
Now he's going to be like, what the hell, man?
He's a mud clubber.
We have stories, my friend.
That'd be awful.
We have stories, my friend, of people being like, I like how you roasted me even though I wasn't doing anything wrong. We're like, well, we're sorry. But like, no, do it next time. We're like, well, you're not relevant again. So I want to read you a pretty important quote here from George Washington. You may have heard of him. In his farewell address, he said, alternate domination of one faction over another, sharpened by the spirit of revenge natural to party dissension, which in different ages and countries has perpetrated the most horrid enormities. He was talking about basically putting a president through a a witch trial like this. Madison even added, the diseases of faction have proved fatal to other popular governments. They were very, very clear that it would prove disastrous if you were to sort of cross this Rubicon and basically prosecute criminally a president, a former president, especially if it's something with which precedent would tell you this is not a felony.
Right. It's not like he murdered somebody. He didn't,
Right. No, that's well, we're talking about the Clintons. Many people. Oh. So this is the situation where we find ourselves. There's a book. What were you talking about, Pops Crowder? Is it 3 felonies?
Three felonies a day.
3 felonies a day. Yeah. And what is the book talk?
Every adult human going.
I wasn't just asking for the title.
Going through their daily life is committing crimes for which they'd be prosecutable.
Yes.
Every day.
Every single person. I mean, just think about what happened. Yeah,
An
you're talking about
overreaching DA, and we could all go down anytime.
Yep. Think about tax day. We lost. Was it $2 trillion in military spending? Is it $6 billion? Someone can fact check me. $6 billion that we can't trace as it relates to Ukraine. You think you get that same kind of leeway from the government? They can prosecute you for anything. They can audit a ham sandwich. So yesterday,
what happened?
You had it coming.
Yeah, that's exactly what they want you to believe. Yesterday, what happened is they went through jury selection. More than half of the 96 potential jurors, they were dismissed because they said that they couldn't be fair. The remaining candidates were asked like 42 questions. Luckily, it seems by the end of the day, they were able to find 12 jurors who did agree to be fair and just. Look, I feel like it's tilted. Let's go through kind of what happened yesterday and then the who, the what, the where, the why. This judge yesterday said that Trump would not be allowed to attend oral arguments at the Supreme Court next week. Okay. The judge in this case, his name is Juan Merchant, said, arguing before the Supreme Court is a big deal, and I can certainly appreciate why your client would want to be there, but a trial in New York Supreme Court is also a big deal.
Okay, his ego's hurt.
Yeah. So it's like, well, you can't go do this one. This is important. This is my court.
They wouldn't.
No, go ahead. Yeah, what a prick, right, Jeremy?
Well, it's like this is my moment too.
Yes,
the Supreme Court. Yeah, I mean it's just federal. It's no big deal.
Yeah, he's like a little brother whose older brother's having a birthday, and he's like, I want a gift.
Yes, can I blow out a candle too?
Yeah,
and then you set a munitions factory on fire.
Yes, exactly. So Trump also said that this Judge Merchant denied his request to attend his son's graduation.
So thank you very much. We had some amazing things happen today. As you know, my son is graduating from high school, and it looks like the judge will not let me go through the graduation of my son.
In April, though? That's weird.
Very, very hard. He's a great student. He's very proud of the fact that he did so well. And I was looking forward for years to have graduation with his mother and father there, and it looks like the judge isn't going to allow me to escape this scam. It's a scam trial.
Yeah, just stick that in.
Well played.
Yeah.
Well played.
Maybe Barron will become a great rapper.
Yes, exactly.
This is an origin story for how rappers. They didn't go to my graduation.
He'll get that proactive money.
Yeah, baby, plus daddy.
So what Donald Trump, President Trump, some people call him former president, some people call him sitting president, he's charged with 34 counts of falsifying business records. Okay. What does that mean? Largely, and this is a recap, for $130,000 to his lawyer, Michael Cohen, they say, for making hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. Hush money payments for an alleged incident that didn't happen, according to Stormy Daniels. She said it didn't happen until she decided that it did happen, and then the money that was paid to say, stop saying that happened. Allegedly.
Can I ask you a question?
Which she accepted and then reneged on. This is where we are. It's about the money that was paid at that point in time, which, by the way, anyone can do at any point with anybody if you enter into a legal agreement and you both sign.
Right. How is he being tried for paying hush money if she wouldn't shut the fuck up?
Yeah. Good point.
She didn't hush.
Yeah.
Why is it? What do you mean? It's not hush money. It's not hushed.
Yeah.
Now it's just a gift.
Right. Yeah. You can't silence the bitch. I tell you, that's the worst hush money I ever spent.
I learned that from Puss Daddy.
Usually when you spend hush money, they hush. I don't know what I spend money on. Gross tits.
It's definitely. It's for the pump. It's for the daily pump she has to put in.
That's right. She uses a bike pump.
$12 at Big Five.
When she got older, she needs one of those continuous pumps you use for the bouncy house.
Like an inverted breast pump. Gotta change. An inverted breast pump.
Inverted nipples, I've heard, but I never saw. Not my type. So let's go through the who, if you're still questioning whether this is a witch hunt. Okay, the case was brought by the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg. We've talked about this. This guy, Bragg, received $1 million in funding from George Soros' Color of Change PAC. You've got the judge. We've already mentioned him, Judge Juan Merchant. This person was appointed initially by Michael Bloomberg in 2006, graduated from Hofstra, the same... anyway, I'm missing something here. Merchant oversaw some other trials, for example, the Trump Organization for tax fraud. Guilty. He oversaw a trial regarding Trump, a confidant, Alan Weisselberg, right? The sentencing there was 5 months in jail, 5 years probation. His daughter was or is, I don't know, the president of Authentic Campaigns, a Democratic campaigning firm. They worked directly, by the way, for the Biden-Harris 2020 campaign.
Wow. I heard this wasn't a witch trial.
Right.
That's what I heard. I heard it wasn't political persecution.
Well, here's the thing. You have to believe, and I've said this, you can't be unbiased. You can't be unbiased in delivering the news. Like, hopefully I've been straightforward with you where I say, I'm not unbiased. I do have a bias, but I try and source everything they provide to you. That's why I give you the opportunity to read more yourself. It's a bibliography, the references, or fact check me if I'm wrong, because I don't believe that human beings are capable of completely eliminating their own biases. But we're way past that, where it's not, hey, do we think that judges can be originalists or simply apply the law, right, as it's meant to be applied, as it's meant to be interpreted? No, we're not at the point of we know that they may vote a certain way themselves. No, these people are receiving millions of dollars in funding directly from Democrat organizations and donors, and they are beholden to the Democrat Party. It's not about your personal bias. It's about who you owe. It's about who you owe. And the DA and the judge, they owe. They owe Soros, and they owe the DNC. Now, if you believe that they're not going to act on the fact that they owe those people, they owe them favors, they owe them money, they are beholden to them. If you believe that, I think you have to weave more of a tapestry in your mind to justify your position. Comment below. I don't think it's conspiratorial at all to say, oh yeah, well, this guy's obviously out to get Donald Trump. Why? Because he got $1 million from Soros, who sent him out to get Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a wild tinfoil hat conspiracy. It's pretty. It's not like really difficult to connect the dots. There are a lot of competing, very self-serving interests involved in the people who are prosecuting Trump, whether it's in New York or it's in Atlanta or it's their supporters. It just so happens to be the same group of people who are trying to keep him from being the president. There are coincidences.
Sure.
This is not that.
No, it's not. And don't you just love how the Democrat Party, for example, the Green Days, we were referencing them, and people of their ilk. It's, man, corporations, man, you can't trust them. It's all about the bottom line. It's all about the dollar. Okay, when they apply it to judges or politicians, by the way, who don't even have to operate, don't even have the guardrails of an honest profit margin, simply donors, they somehow believe that they're inherently all altruistic. I support free enterprise and capitalism because I believe that it is a check and a balance against corruption. It doesn't matter if you owe someone a favor behind the scenes. If your product or service is no good, guess what? You can't pay it back. If you are an elected official, you are in the business of paying back favors. That is your business. Someone gave you $1 million. Hey, who donated to the PAC? Who are your biggest donors? Who are your biggest supporters? Who gave you the endorsements? Your business is now paying them back.
And I'm sure the DA who brings the charges has no personal relationship at all with the judge.
Right.
I'm sure the one that works with them all the time and has, overseen multiple cases of the same.
You're sounding more and more Alex Jonesy.
Yeah. Let's dial it back.
Yeah, let's
Sorry, guys. I'm just fired up.
Yeah. We're not on Only Rumble yet. We got to be careful.
That's true. Well, I think we have the YouTube dump button. Okay. So what's going to happen next? The trial is expected probably about 6 to 8 weeks. Here's the timeline of what it looks like. We have that right there in front of you. You can check the reference. And, of course, President Trump for basically hush money, or what they want to say is financial fraud, whatever term you want to use at that point. 20 years. Could face up to 20 years. No word yet on the time for sexting your niece and smoking drywall for Hunter Biden, but we'll get back to you.
We're disposing a gun in this.
Oh, there's zero for that. We already know.
Throwing a gun into a school waste bin.
Yeah.
Don't we just love how that was skimmed over?
But because you gave money to a waste bin,
right?
20 years in prison, and she is a waste bin.
She's a different kind of dumpster.
No.
A recycling bin, we would call
I don't know where you all thought that we could get so off the beam.
Sorry.
And who would have thought Jeremy would have been the one to do it?
I know. I'm as shocked as you are.
So you guys are all bad influences.
Yes, that's true. It really is. It really is. It's like the Lost Boys. You step into a world and just all responsibility. So here's the thing. Donald Trump could run for office from prison. There is precedent for that. A 1920 socialist candidate. I guess this was an election. Eugene versus Debs got nearly 1 million votes. So he could run from prison. And here's the thing. I don't think it changes a damn thing. I really don't. Even if he runs from prison, it doesn't change anything. That will not be the October surprise this election. It's become white noise. Not only has it become white noise, but it's been white noise for so long that I believe many Americans, and you can comment below if you've noticed this, simply don't put any stock in the justice system anymore. And I also think that's, by the way, why he's been gaining a record number of black voters in this country. They've had a fundamental mistrust, and by the way, rightfully so to a degree, of our justice system. And I think a lot of people are waking up to the fact that it's not necessarily about race. It is about a system who can selectively apply the law. And I think people inherently know you do not live in a free country if you have laws, but they are only applied selectively based on political point of view, religion, cultural persuasion, whatever it is. You don't live in a free country if they can simply pull the trigger on one and wave the white flag on the other. That's where we are. And what does this set as far as a precedent? You know, we talk about this, but think about this for a second. This is the first time in American history any future president, if we're talking about selective application of the law, any future ex-president can be indicted, prosecuted, criminally charged for any reason. There is no going back. And so I will say this. I know that a lot of Republicans, a lot of conservatives out there say, no, we need to be above the fray. It has happened. They have tried it. Whether they are successful or not doesn't matter. Now, the floodgates are open. Hey, former Vice President Biden, hope you enjoy your post-presidency. I want to see him taken out in an orange jumpsuit. You guys can comment. You guys can comment below. I don't know that there's any going back from this. Again, we talked about George Washington, the quote from Madison. They said, do not do this because if you do it, it's then going to become the norm. Once you set that in place, you cannot go back. That's all it's going to be, is political prosecution, is criminal prosecution of your enemies.
He should spend the few remaining golden years he has in and out of court.
Yes.
Because that's the precedent he set.
Yep.
So enjoy it.
Yep. I agree. And people are, don't you feel bad? Nope. No, I don't. What, because he has more life to live, I'm supposed to just absolve you of your sins? Sorry.
I feel bad for us, for the American people.
Yeah.
Because now we gotta. These people are wasting their time doing this shit instead of doing their jobs, what they're supposed to be doing.
And you know, if Donald Trump does it, because he hasn't done it, by the way, he hasn't prosecuted. Can you point me to an example, honestly, when people say he's a fascist, can you point me to a single example of Donald Trump actually prosecuting or completely silencing voices of dissent? He didn't try to do it on social media.
Well, he had the most pardons of any president over the last, 40, 50 years? Something like that.
Right, yeah. The guy who pardoned Lil Wayne.
Excluding Joe Biden's recent marijuana thing, which doesn't count. But
right, yeah. Lil Wayne he pardoned.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yes.
Pretty easy.
Wheezy.
Don't know why they call him Lil. He's actually about average. What are you, Lil? You're 5'10", 5'9", 5'11", he says. That's right in there.
He's like 5'4", dude.
Is he like 5'4"? Well, he carries it well.
And if you extend the dreads up, it's like 6'4".
Yes, exactly. So by the way, this also is one of those situations where, like you said, you feel bad for the American people, but we're there now.
You know, and by the way, all this court talk, it makes me. I was in court last week. Reminds me.
Oh, really? What was it? What were the charges?
Oh, no charges. I was in pretend court. I was doing an audition for the remake of A Few Good Men.
Oh, how'd it go?
I think it went well. Tim, do you have it?
Yeah, I got it.
Nice segue.
Hey, sorry I couldn't find a costume. Sorry I'm late.
That's fine. You were never supposed to wear them anyway. Right. So...
Hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh. So I'll read for the role of the prosecutor. My associate here will read for the judge. You're auditioning for Jack Nicholson's role in the stage production of A Few Good Men.
A Few Good Men. They got the wrong guys, huh? Am I right? All right.
Did you order the code red?
You don't have to answer that.
Say the line.
He just said I don't have to say it.
I'll answer the question.
Oh, great. Thank you.
No. That's your line.
Yeah, but this guy just said that I don't have to answer the question. I'm getting mixed signals from the both of you.
Ignore him. Just deliver the lines, please.
Okay.
Did you order the code red?
I'll answer the question.
Cut. I meant to ignore the line, but wait until he can deliver it. It's a script.
Dude, you tell me one thing, then you tell me another thing. What kind of rinky-dink operation are you running here? You guys are so unprofessional. Everything you're doing around here is wrong, and to be honest with you, you should be embarrassed. You guys are probably the laughingstock of Hollywood.
That's not true.
You can't handle the truth.
Well, I'm sure they'll get back to you.
I think so. I played it. I think I played it well.
Yeah, I think it's amazing that you keep auditioning for films that have already been made.
They scrapped it. I think my agent's lying to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, is it Kay William?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'd be careful with that. By the way, we also have right now, I believe we have him. It's taken us a little bit of time to get him. He's down at the courtroom on the ground in Nashville. We have him Georgia Greek, but let me just clarify here what's going on. There's basically right now, they're going to determine if there will be a public release of the Nashville Manifesto. And that was a huge story last year. It reached, by the way, as far as interactions on social media, the reach, I don't know if the clicks, whatever they consider, reached in the billions. And that was entirely because of you. None of this happens without you. Please, you can also send your tips to lwctips@protonmail.com. We will go to jail to protect our sources. You can join Mug Club, $89 annually. Right now it's $20 off if you enter in the promo code Manifesto. Before we go to George, let me just set this up for you in case you have forgotten. Now, I'll also let you know that I don't think they're going to release this publicly. The Nashville shooting took place, right? Covenant, the Covenant shooter in Nashville. Okay. We also published some pretty disturbing. Not we also published. Let's just be clear. We got the manifesto. Yes. And we also published.
What did you read?
We got our hands on the manifesto. The source has been protected, and we released it to the public, which just put wheels into motion for nonstop lying. So in case you've forgotten, here's just a refresher. Kill those kids, 3 exclamation points. Those crackers going to private fancy schools with those fancy khakis and sports backpacks with their daddies, Mustangs, and convertibles. F you little shits. I wish to shoot you weak with your mop yellow hair. Wanna kill all you little crackers again. Bunch of little f***its with your white privileges. F*** you f***its. So to be clear, the position that we maintain is the reason that this manifesto has been kept quiet is because it reads like something out of a woke handbook. It reads like something out of the intersectionalist guidelines, 101 that you might take in a humanities course. That's why. We've always had manifestos, as we've discussed in the past, if it's someone who they can try and portray as a lone gunman or, in the very rare instance, a white supremacist, when it's in line with, by the way, many of the recent manifestos, people who have been isolated, people who believe in things like white privilege, people who believe they're being oppressed by Christians, by the patriarchy, it's dead silence. So let me just go really quickly here to, you guys remember the Nashville shooting. Let's go to the Chief Drake clip. The department there, the MNPD, which is the Department of Police in Nashville, confirmed when the shooting had taken place, which left 7 people dead, that they had the manifesto and a possible motive at that time.
We have a manifesto. We have some writings that we're going over that pertain to this date, the actual incident. We have a map drawn out of how this was all going to take place. There's right now a theory of that we may be able to talk about later, but it's not confirmed.
Is there any reason to believe that how she identifies has any motive for targeting the school?
We can give you that at a later time. There is some theory to that. We're investigating all the leads, and once we know exactly, we'll let you know.
So see what he said. So we can give you that at a later time. We're working on a theory. Oh, you have my curiosity. They never planned on giving that to you. The orders came from the top down. Maybe at that point that, I believe, police chief, I believe that's who he was, a police chief. Yeah, maybe at that point in time he believed what he was saying.
I think he had good intentions.
It looked like he had good intentions.
It's probably like in Die Hard where the suits show up and they're like, we're taking over this.
Right.
Once he probably knew what was going on. He may have even wanted to release it, but someone showed up and we're like, nah, sorry, dude.
Right.
That's not happening.
Well, here's how we know they had no intention of releasing it. April 25th, 2023, there was a FOIA request for the records pertaining to this shooting, including the manifesto. It was filed by Michael Patrick Leahy and the Star News Network. By the way, he's also been great to us recently when he reached out when we did get our hands on the manifesto. So shout out to Mr. Leahy. Thank you. Also, he had to go through some crap. He ended up suing the FBI in May of 2023 for withholding the manifesto. They basically said, we're not going to release it. So you saw that press conference. They want to memory hole it where you don't remember it. They said, we will release that at a later time. We are working with a possible motive. Hey, the parents in this community probably want to know, are our children at risk? They'll trot out some safety measures when there's another shooting that's convenient and they can push for gun control or an assault weapons ban that gets rid of a pistol grip before the bodies even assume room temperature. But when something is happening right there in their own community and they can protect your children and inform you, they're a little bit murky on the rule book. After we published the manifesto, the mayor, Freddie O'Connell, immediately went out there not saying, hey, maybe this is something that we should have handled more properly, or maybe we should have made good on our word and made this available for the parents. No, he decided to try and demonize and hunt for our source, saying that investigation may involve local, state, and federal authorities. November 8th, 2023, 7 officers in Nashville were placed on administrative assignment. It means like paid leave, basically. There was an investigation into what they said was the unauthorized release of the manifesto, which they said was going to be released, mind you. Officers are being kind of punished for something taking place that they said they would do. And then in January, 10 police officers were reassigned after the investigation found nothing. This is just me. This is just speculation. I don't believe there was ever an investigation. Now, our source is safe, just to be clear. They didn't find the source. We will go to jail to protect our sources here. You can send your tips to lwctips@protonmail.com. Never a source released. They've always been kept safe. And it's funny, you'll see this in gossip rags where everything is anonymous, where it's just gossip. Someone saying, I don't like them, like Cassidy Hutchinson. She just made, I think, 43 changes to her statement about Donald Trump jerking the wheel on January 6th. Yeah. Some anonymous source said that some anonymous source said. In this case, this is where keeping your sources anonymous matters for journalism. Let's compare it to asylum. Someone has a legitimate claim to asylum if they're actually fleeing political persecution, right? They don't have a claim to asylum because they don't like their country and want to get in on the action that is the financial windfall in the United States. That's not asylum. You do require anonymity if you are actually speaking truth to power and going after those in positions of authority who could politically prosecute you. That's where anonymity matters. It doesn't matter if you're saying that someone said something bad about someone you don't like Donald Trump. We will protect our sources. lwctips@protonmail.com. We are sifting through what you guys send, and we very much appreciate it. March 15th, judge ordered the FBI to turn over all the documents related to the Covenant shooter for an in-camera review. Today, that's where this brings us to today, a judge is going to decide if the public, if you are allowed to see the rest of these writings. And we've been very clear, we did not get the entire manifesto. Of course, some other people came out and tried to get in on the clickbait action and say, well, I have it on good authority that actually there's more there, but no one ever provided anything. We only go based on what we know, what it is that we can prove, what it is that we can show you. So we have always asked that the rest of this manifesto be released. For example, if this person says, I want to kill all these folks with white privilege, and I want to kill all these Christians. Okay. And then says, oh, and by the way, I want to kill all trans people because I'm just an anarchist or I'm a white supremacist. That would be relevant. I would want to know that. In one case, you have a clear motive where there's a through line that seems consistent with what we have. In the other case, you maybe have a paranoid schizophrenic. It's relevant, and it's certainly relevant to the parents of the community. So if you enter in the promo code manifesto, ladderwithcredit.com/mugclub, $20 off right now because we're still tracking down this story. You have made this happen. You have put the pressure on these officials. This judge right now is answering to you. I believe we have on the line on the ground in Nashville, George the Greek. Let's bring him in. On the story, you have made this happen. You have put the pressure. They have an audio delay going on. Oh boy! Right now, all right. Answering to you. Can we get rid of that? Sorry, I'm hearing myself, Mr. Greek. Let me ask you this: what do you expect to see there today, George?
Whoa.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, this is essentially.
That's weird.
Can you bring his audio up?
It's going to be interesting to see basically what is the anatomy.
Let me ask you this: what do you expect to see?
Yeah, what is
there
the
today,
anatomy
George?
of this suppression apparatus? Essentially, I mean, you mentioned it before. They moved heaven and earth to try to keep this from the public view, and this is going to be the next installment. Essentially of that, I'm very curious to see what witnesses they're going to bring, what they're going to do. If you remember the arguments here, it was, for public safety, ostensibly, we're going to, keep this under wraps. Oh, it's going to hurt.
Hold on a second, guys. We might need to pause it. It's reverbing him right there. I don't know what's. Let's pause it. Can you guys just cut George the Greek right now, and let's see if we can get him back on and reestablish the line? Yeah, right. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll fix it.
All right, let's fix it and let's bring him back on.
Sounds like the background of like if you're like in a movie when they have like a ballroom party going on.
Yes.
Or like a crowd's murmuring.
By the way, shout out to George for just keep going. Like
I know,
a pro, having it in his ear.
That's the left brain, right brain.
Yeah, he didn't. I was expecting him to short circuit.
I thought all that society provided to the rest of the world was the island of Lesbos. So, I know that he's sticking with it. It's really good for him, but I don't think he knows that we're getting him and myself back.
Yeah, I don't think he knows we're getting it. We'll be working on it right now. Okay,
so we'll be working on it right now. And you know what we can do, actually, while we're doing this, usually we do this only on Mug Club, but let's take a couple of chats from people. Maybe they have some questions regarding Nashville, what's happening down there on the ground, and let me know when we have George in a way that works so we can hear him.
Okay.
Let's grab some chat there, Mr. Noodles.
All right. You know if it was about the latter part while he's pulling that up, the latter headline that this individual wanted to go after trans people, that would have been on the front page of the newspaper.
Of course.
The very next day. Yeah. Patterns of behavior are important. We learn. That's how we learn about our society is patterns of behavior over time. If we're getting, we're having that stuff kept from us, how are we supposed to form a pattern? Then it's easy for us to go, well, trans people have never been dangerous at all. None of them have ever. No, not once.
Right. Well, what's also interesting is when you look at crime statistics, for example, they stopped covering the crime, the race of the perpetrator of crime. They used to do this, the DOJ, I believe the FBI. I don't remember. It might have been actually the CDC that studied crime statistics, where they used to give you the race of the victim and they would give you the race of the perpetrator. And that's how you knew that there was a disproportionate amount of crime being committed against Asian Americans by Black Americans. That was something that was verifiable.
Remember the Stop Asian Hate thing?
Yes, remember the Stop Asian? Yeah.
People are like, well, let's look at the statistics. Oh, whoa. No, never mind.
Yeah, never mind. 80+% of all physical crimes in the Bay Area are Black against Asians. Okay, we don't want to touch that third rail.
Ooh, Mark, borrow these stats.
Yes, exactly. And then the same thing is happening here. For example, you know that there's a 42% attempted suicide rate for those who identify as transgender. It's not any better pre or post operation. They'll tell you that transgender individuals are 2 to 4 times more likely to experience violence. They won't tell you the stats on whether transgender individuals are more likely to perpetrate violence. I've looked for those sources. I don't know that they exist.
Again,
because I don't study them. So you only have one.
This patterns of behavior, it's also, helping the mental health issue.
Right.
People just keep ignoring it. They keep ignoring it's a mental health issue. It's not. No, they really are a female bunny.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I like the use of the newest white wrapper label in the manifesto, Lil Cracker.
Yes, exactly.
The crack.
And they're not that little. They're about if you put saltines in soup, it's all you can taste.
What in the world?
All right, do we have George the Greek now?
Yeah, we fixed him.
Okay, we fixed him. All right, sorry, Mr. George the Greek. We appreciate you keeping your game face on there because, boy, you did not seem to be fazed by the distractions. Let's try it again. What do you expect to see inside the courtroom today regarding the manifesto of this judge?
Yep. Continuation of what essentially has been this suppression apparatus to keep the public away from the manifesto. I'm curious to see how they're going to pitch this. What witnesses are they going to bring to justify this? If you remember, we had arguments like, oh, there's an ongoing investigation. There isn't one anymore. People are charged. Nobody was charged. Oh, the parents are going to be hurt. We've been through all of that. So I'm very curious now to see what else they're going to throw at the wall to try to keep the public at this. So it's almost like the anatomy of a suppression apparatus. And this is just the next chapter of that.
That's a very good way to put it. And I know there's a delay, so I'll ask the question and give a few seconds. I guess I'll just move around sexily while he takes time to respond.
Yes.
Have you seen anyone to note, or anyone specifically who kind of sticks out at you today regarding this case?
So mostly media, and the spokesperson for the families, Brent Leatherwood, he is in the courtroom. I'm not sure to what, if any, extent he may participate in this case. From what I can tell at this point, he's just observing, but things are about to get started right here. So, there will be developments on that. But other than him and his crew, I don't really see anybody else noteworthy. That may have changed between the time I was in there and speaking to you now, and I'll certainly report back with any other noteworthy people that show up.
And just to be clear, this Mr. Leatherwood is the same lawyer who said that he speaks on behalf of all parents, and all of them were furious that the manifesto was leaked, was released, and of course they all sided with him. This is the same attorney, correct?
That's the guy.
All right,
Yes,
George
sir.
the Greek, thank you very much. We'll check back in with you later. Well, I'm running out of silly things to do.
I was waiting for you to go downstairs to get a drink.
that 3 seconds is an eternity.
I know. I know, but at least he has the microphone working well this time.
Well, that's why all these reporters nod now, as they sit there and nod while the delay is coming in, so they know when to field it.
Well, maybe that's why they just say things that they see. Like, yes, it's made of wood, John.
Leatherwood.
I'm seeing a building behind me.
Yes. I believe right here is where the courtroom is, and that is where legal proceedings take place. Back to you, Jimmy.
Better off with Finnegan.
Yes,
that's right.
At least we have something going on.
No, George did a great job. I can't wait to hear the rest of it. When does that start?
I believe that it starts today, and it's going to be going through today and tomorrow, and so we'll know if there's going to be a public release tomorrow, as I understand it.
Great.
Of course, they could pull some kind of a bait and switch. What do you think? Place your bets, everyone here, and you guys comment below. Don't cheat. Don't go back here and make it seem like you're Nostradamus.
Well, no.
Yeah, but what do you think? You think they'll release it?
I'm going released, heavily redacted.
Released but heavily redacted. Yeah.
Mostly black lines.
Okay, there you go. What do you think?
I think we're more likely to be sued by the mayor than to get that thing released.
Yeah, that's right.
I checked with Gerald C.
He might sue us.
I think that's a no.
Well, he's just doing his impression of a lamprey.
Oh.
He's very one note with that.
I'm not a boob guy.
I agree with Jeremy. I think we'll see a redacted version of it. It's interesting that the lawyer of the parents is there making such an argument. I don't understand that. And
of some parents, that's the thing. He picks some parents and say, "I speak on behalf of Nashville."
Yeah.
The only way I can make that make sense is maybe there's something in the manifesto that is embarrassing or publicly damaging to the. I don't know. There might be something in there that's embarrassing to the families. Maybe the kids bullied this. I don't know what. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can think. So maybe like a redacted version of it, so that they protect the privacy of these families, or the legacy of the children that died.
Well, if there's something that threatens the security of these families, that would be redacted, right? That would be something that would be redacted. If it's something that he finds embarrassing or something that he wouldn't want to make it out publicly, but it's relevant as to the crime, that typically would not be redacted. And I can tell you this, without naming any sources, he does not speak on behalf of not only all the parents there at Covenant, but not even all the faculty, and certainly not all the citizens there of Nashville. I would, if we were to take a poll, I would wager that most people want to know the motivation for this shooting.
I think that that my running theory was, I didn't think about the bullying thing, which is a fair point, but I was thinking there's something that happened at that school, that the parents are trying to protect the school or the.
It is a Christian school. Maybe it's like a protect the church type of deal.
Yeah,
like the priest kind of thing when they were doing the weird things.
Well, even if it's just just to protect the church, in general, maybe not anything terrible. Right. But I thought, because I just can't imagine being a parent and being like, I actually want to protect this person.
I don't know why bullying would have to be redacted. I mean, that's relevant.
It's relevant, but that might be why the parents.
I mean, it's relevant.
Don't want it out.
Your kid was a bully.
Yeah, but not everybody thinks like you, Pops.
Right. Yeah.
And moreover,
some people feel shame.
weren't the kids in this case 8 and 9 years old?
Right.
What?
9, 8 and 9.
Some of them.
I don't understand what they could have done.
There's
to
teachers
bully
involved too.
that badly.
Yeah. Well, identities, privacy is protected for children all the time. So again, that's not something that would be assumed. It would be assumed, you'll protect, for example, personal details of minors. That's very typical. That is actually the norm. It's not an exception as it relates to this. So I doubt that's what it is. There may be something that the parents don't necessarily like you're saying. I think it probably has to do with any time you figure this out and any time you then could find out who the parents are involved. I would be willing to wager that there's some kind of political motivation or agenda-driven motivation, just like we saw in Chippewa Falls, right?
Definitely.
They were trying to protect themselves and the faculty because it was embarrassing, because students were at risk. It could be something similar here, or it could just be, this is the Trans Day of Vengeance that was taking place. It wasn't happenstance. A lot of things add up if we get the rest of this manifesto. No one is more unhappy than me that it's incomplete, what we have access to. I would love to be wrong. And by that, I mean, I would love,
of course,
and I don't mean love in the sense, but in this scenario, a better scenario would be this is just someone who is a paranoid schizophrenic with no social circle that they have influenced, and there's no rhyme or reason. It's someone who, snapped, someone who has a few screws loose where, hey, you know what, there's no bigger cause at play here than someone who is crazy, a lone gunman, gun woman, Z, whatever it is that you want to call it in this instance. They were tripping over the pronouns because that was more important to them than actually getting to the bottom of the shooting that had taken place. I would rather that than seeing the continuing pattern of people who've been radicalized by this new gender ideology agenda, committing acts of violence against their fellow Americans and students. You can't find the numbers. So a lot of it is anecdotal, but guess what? You do have the numbers on suicide attempts pre and post-op, and there's only one other demographic. There's only one other demographic. We've talked about this many times, and I think it's relevant. One other demographic, really in history, that has that kind of attempted suicide rate. Not even Jews in the Holocaust. Not American slaves. Paranoid schizophrenics. People with severe mental illness. That's the only place where you find that kind of attempted suicide rate. I'm sorry, I don't believe that transgender Americans in the United States, I'm not saying that they're without any type of struggle. I don't believe that they have it worse than Jews in Treblinka. I don't believe that they had it worse than black Americans in slave states working on the plantations. There's a reason for it. And if it does relate to significant mental illness, we do know that, of course, that goes hand in hand with committing acts of violence at a disproportional rate. Yeah, I see that you were about to say something there, Josh.
Yeah, we just got an update from, I'm guessing, from George. It's Justin. The Judge Miles just restarted her computer because she can't get anything to open. And also the cooling system in the courtroom is not working and making loud whirling noises. And it was interrupted petitioner opening statements to pause to address technical difficulties, while additional court staff are making suggestions to her to diagnose her computer problems. She is shaking her head with an embarrassing smile.
Hey, Judge, try unplugging it.
A spit and a whack.
And then plug it back in. And if that doesn't work, then there is no helping you. We're going to continue this with more updates on Mug Club. If you are not a member, again, the promo code is Manifesto, $20 off. We're going to continue with a segment here that I find very interesting. And by that, I mean infuriating. I don't know if you know this, the term Latinx didn't take. Hispanic Americans said, no, we're not doing that. So that's out, but they've created a new term, Latine. Latine is the new term they want to use.
Latine.
Not just Hispanic, not just, is it Latine?
It's Latine.
Latine?
Yeah,
well, there should
Latino,
be an accent.
not Latina, Latine.
Well, I've never heard it pronounced
It's like
because no one says it. I've only read it.
I've heard them say it a lot. They try to say Latinx, but they can't. Latine.
Oh, is that?
They can't finish it. It's Latine. Sorry, that's so silly.
Latine. Hey, you shouldn't be so hateful. I'm saying what you're telling me to say. Latine. Latinx. Damn, what's the difference? Chicks with dicks. All right, so if you're watching on Rumble, click that button right now. You can join Mug Club. And, of course, the quartering is available here on Rumble as well, weekdays, 5:30. 5:30 Eastern?
That's right. I'll be live tonight, and I hope that people tune in. Thanks for having me.
It's odd that you pick on the half hour.
You know, I never thought about that.
What's the lead-in?
Now.
Yeah. Is there a lead-in?
You've made me question everything now. No, there's no lead-in. I just picked 5:30.
I think it's a great time.
Thank you.
Yes, I think it's good. If 5 o'clock, people are off work. 5:30, they're on there watching the show.
Yeah, how many car accidents is he causing?
That's not his problem. They're all protesting anyway.
That's true.
Don't listen to him, Journey. We're 15-ish.
No.
Yeah, coming from the guy, I see your chat. Like, when people come into my chat, the first thing they're saying, when I'm late, they're like, oh, he's late just like Crowder all the time.
Yeah. Well, Josh knows that comes from stand-up because so many people just flow in and they go, what'd I miss? Yeah. It's okay, so you guys all know this. When we say 10 Eastern, it is 10:10 on the dot because
every day.
If you show up on time, then we're ready. But it's like
we call it an urban show.
60% of the people flow in afterwards. We run it on Brazilian time. And Josh is going to be at the Addison Improv tonight.
Tonight, 7:30.
Starting with
Addison.
tonight's sit.
That's in Dallas, baby.
Thank you, Rumble. YouTube, piss off.